You, step away from the counter and leave the establishment.
Excuse me, what is going on? I'm here for a pickup.
We got a call about a suspicious person harassing staff. You match the description.
Harassing? I'm a professional delivery driver. I'm on the clock.
I don't care about the clock. You're trespassing and you're coming with me.
I am complying, but you are making
You're
a
under
huge
arrest.
mistake in front of
Officer Todd Harrison had been with the Miami Police Department for 17 years. In those 17 years, he'd accumulated 32 formal complaints. 27 of them involved black women he'd accused of trespassing, loitering, or not belonging in upscale restaurants, hotels, and businesses. A black woman waiting for friends at a hotel lobby was detained for solicitation. A black customer browsing in a luxury boutique was questioned for suspicious behavior. A black businesswoman having coffee in a high-end cafe was told to leave for loitering. A black nurse in scrubs waiting for takeout at a restaurant was searched for looking like she didn't belong. A black delivery driver picking up food was handcuffed for trespassing in a private establishment. A black woman attending a business meeting at a restaurant was questioned about whether she had a reservation. Every complaint ended the same way. Business owners confirming the person was a legitimate customer or worker, internal review that cleared Harrison, diversity training he attended but dismissed, written warnings that piled up but meant nothing, union protection that blocked any meaningful discipline. One Thursday evening in Miami, his 17-year pattern of assuming black women didn't belong in upscale establishments finally confronted someone who was simply trying to earn a living while studying for a better future, had clear documentation of her work, platform support to verify her employment, and witnesses who saw the entire unjustified arrest. That confrontation would end Harrison's career, cost the city $5.1 million, and expose a department that had ignored 32 complaints over 17 years. Keisha Williams, a 28-year-old DoorDash driver and nursing student, was standing inside an exclusive steakhouse in Coral Gables waiting for a delivery order when an officer approached her aggressively. Her DoorDash app was open on her phone, showing the active pickup. Her insulated delivery bag was on the counter. Her driver ID was visible on her phone screen. No crime, no trespassing, no loitering, just a delivery driver doing her job. But Officer Harrison saw her through a lens so warped by racial assumptions and gender bias that he couldn't process a black woman in an upscale restaurant as someone legitimately there to pick up food. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Hit that subscribe button. These stories need attention. Miami, Florida. Coral Gables, one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in South Florida, known for Mediterranean-style architecture, tree-lined boulevards, upscale shopping, and fine dining. The restaurant, the Capitol Grill, was an exclusive steakhouse where the average entree cost $55, and the wine list featured bottles over $300. The clientele was predominantly wealthy, white, and dressed in business attire or evening wear. It was 8:15 p.m. on a Thursday evening, prime dinner service. The restaurant was filled with well-dressed diners celebrating business deals and special occasions. Servers moved between tables carrying expensive steaks and seafood. The atmosphere was sophisticated and exclusive. Keisha Williams had been a DoorDash driver for 3 years while attending nursing school at Miami-Dade College. She'd graduated from high school with honors, worked full-time as a certified nursing assistant while starting college, then added delivery driving to her schedule to cover tuition increases and living expenses. She maintained a 4.98-star rating with over 4,500 deliveries. She was professional, efficient, and courteous to both restaurants and customers. She worked delivery shifts in the evenings and on weekends between her CNA shifts at a hospital and her nursing classes. She was in her final year of nursing school, set to graduate in 6 months and take her RN licensing exam. She dreamed of becoming an emergency room nurse and was already applying for positions at major Miami hospitals. She worked 60-hour weeks between her 3 commitments, school, hospital work, and delivery driving, to avoid taking on student loans. That evening, Keisha had accepted a DoorDash order from the Capitol Grill. 156 order, premium steakhouse dinner for 2, potentially good tip. She'd delivered from this restaurant several times before without incident. She knew the procedure. Park in the valet area with hazards on, enter through the front door, check in at the host stand, wait at the designated pickup area near the bar. She'd arrived at the restaurant, parked her car, grabbed her insulated DoorDash bag with the logo clearly visible, and entered wearing her standard delivery outfit, jeans, a DoorDash t-shirt, and sneakers. She approached the host stand and spoke to the host. "Hi, I'm here for DoorDash. Order for Patterson." The host checked his tablet and nodded. "Yes, we have that. It's almost ready. Just a couple more minutes. You can wait right over there." He gestured to a small area near the bar where delivery drivers typically stood. Keisha thanked him, moved to the waiting area, set her delivery bag on the counter, and checked her phone to update the customer on the status. Do you think officers should verify situations before confronting workers? Drop your answer below. Officer Todd Harrison had those 32 complaints over 17 years. 27 involved black women in upscale commercial establishments, a pattern so undeniable that multiple supervisors had recommended his termination, community groups had protested his assignments, and internal affairs had flagged him as a severe liability. But the police union had successfully fought every disciplinary action, arguing that Harrison was simply vigilant about maintaining order in high-end establishments. His personnel file contained complaints from business owners, customers, workers, and community advocates. One complaint specifically noted his pattern of questioning black women more aggressively than any other demographic, yet he remained on patrol because the system protected him. That evening, Harrison was conducting what he called a business check at the Capitol Grill, walking through upscale restaurants in uniform to ensure safety and order, though critics noted he only seemed to check establishments in wealthy white neighborhoods. He entered the restaurant, nodded to the host who knew him from previous visits, and scanned the dining room. His eyes stopped on Keisha standing at the pickup area. He saw a young black woman in casual clothes, jeans and a t-shirt, standing in an exclusive steakhouse where most female customers wore dresses, heels, and jewelry. Despite the DoorDash logo on her bag and shirt, despite her phone clearly showing a delivery app, Harrison assumed she didn't belong. Harrison approached Keisha with aggressive body language, his hand resting on his belt near his weapon. "Ma'am, you need to leave this restaurant immediately." Keisha looked up, startled and confused. "Excuse me? I'm waiting for a delivery order. I'm a DoorDash driver." "I don't think you belong here. You're loitering." Keisha held up her phone showing the DoorDash app with the active order clearly visible. "Loitering? The restaurant is preparing my pickup order right now. See? Right here. Order for Patterson, 156, Capitol Grill. The host told me to wait here." "Show me proof you're supposed to be here." "It's right here on my app." Keisha's frustration was rising, but she kept her voice controlled. "I'm a DoorDash driver. This is my job. I have over 4,500 deliveries. The restaurant is finishing the order. The host knows I'm here." Harrison stepped closer, his tone becoming more aggressive. "This is an upscale establishment. I don't believe you're a legitimate delivery driver." Keisha couldn't believe what she was hearing. "You don't believe I'm a delivery driver? I'm wearing a DoorDash shirt. I have a DoorDash bag. My app shows the active order. What more proof do you need?" "Ma'am, I'm asking you to leave. Final warning." "Leave? I'm waiting for food that a customer ordered. The host told me to wait here." The host noticed the confrontation and hurried over, his expression concerned. "Officer Harrison, is there a problem? She's with DoorDash. We have her order being plated in the kitchen right now." Harrison ignored him completely. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for trespassing and disorderly conduct." "Disorderly conduct? I'm standing here quietly waiting for an order." "Should delivery drivers be protected from harassment while working? Let me know what you think." The host was alarmed now, his voice rising. "Officer, please, she's not trespassing. She's here for a pickup. The customer ordered through DoorDash. This is a legitimate delivery." Harrison grabbed Keisha's arm roughly. "Put the phone down and put your hands behind your back." Keisha pulled her arm back reflexively, then immediately raised both hands. "Don't touch. Me. I'm not doing anything wrong." She pulled out a second phone from her pocket and started recording with shaking hands. "I'm documenting this. I'm Keisha Williams, DoorDash driver for 3 years. I'm a nursing student at Miami-Dade College. Officer Harrison is arresting me inside Capitol Grill while I'm picking up a legitimate delivery order. I have an active order on my app. The host confirmed I'm supposed to be here. This is unlawful." Other diners were watching now, the restaurant falling silent as the confrontation escalated. Several pulled out phones to record. A woman at a nearby table spoke up. "Officer, she's clearly a delivery driver. She has the bag. Leave her alone." Harrison ignored her. The restaurant manager rushed from the back office. "Officer Harrison, what's going on? She's picking up an order for DoorDash. We use delivery services all the time. She's supposed to be here." Harrison pulled out his handcuffs. "She's being arrested for trespassing in your establishment and for resisting." The manager was bewildered and angry. "Resisting what? She's standing there, and she's not trespassing. We invited her here. The customer paid us $156 for this food. We need her to deliver it." Keisha spoke clearly for the multiple phones now recording, her voice steady despite her fear. "I am not resisting. I'm raising my hands. I'm complying. I am Keisha Williams, DoorDash driver, 4,500 deliveries, 4.98 star rating. I'm a nursing student at Miami-Dade College, 8 months from graduating. I work 3 jobs to pay for school. I'm picking up a legitimate order." The restaurant staff confirmed this. "Officer Harrison is arresting me for being a black woman in an upscale restaurant." Harrison handcuffed Keisha, the metal tight on her wrists, tighter than necessary. He walked her toward the door past stunned diners who'd stopped eating to watch, past the host who was on the phone with the restaurant's corporate office, past the manager who was recording on his phone and saying, "This is wrong. This is completely wrong." Harrison placed Keisha in the back of his patrol car parked in the valet area. Through the window, Keisha could see the restaurant manager standing outside, still recording, shaking his head. Her delivery bag was still inside on the counter. The customer's expensive dinner was getting cold. Her DoorDash app was showing the order as severely delayed. Her perfect rating was about to take a hit through no fault of her own. She was missing her evening CNA shift at the hospital. She'd have to explain to her nursing school professors why she missed tomorrow's clinical rotation, all because she was picking up food. The drive to the station took 25 minutes through Miami traffic. Keisha spent it thinking about her nursing school tuition she'd worked so hard to pay, the hospital job she might lose for missing her shift, the graduation she'd worked toward for 4 years, the lawsuit she'd absolutely be filing. They arrived at Miami PD's Coral Gables Division Headquarters. Harrison walked her inside, still handcuffed, past a desk sergeant who looked up with immediate concern at seeing a young woman in a DoorDash shirt in handcuffs. "Harrison, what's the situation here?" "Trespassing arrest from Capitol Grill. Subject was loitering and became disorderly." The sergeant frowned, already skeptical. "Capitol Grill? Did the restaurant request an arrest?" "She was causing a disturbance in their establishment." Keisha spoke up, her voice shaking but clear. "Sergeant, I'm Keisha Williams, DoorDash driver for 3 years. I'm a nursing student at Miami-Dade College. I was picking up a delivery order from Capitol Grill when Officer Harrison arrested me. I had an active order on my app showing a $156 pickup. The host told me to wait at the designated pickup area. The manager confirmed I was supposed to be there. I have over 4,500 deliveries with a 4.98 star rating. I was wearing my DoorDash shirt and had my delivery bag. This arrest is completely unjustified. I was just doing my job." Before the sergeant could respond, his phone rang. It was the general manager of Capitol Grill, calling to say they absolutely did not want the delivery driver arrested and demanding her immediate release. While the sergeant was on that call, another call came in from DoorDash Corporate Security, alerted by Keisha's emergency feature in the app, also demanding information about why their driver had been arrested while picking up a verified order. A third call came in from a diner who'd recorded the incident and wanted to file a complaint about Harrison's conduct. The sergeant hung up and stared at Harrison with barely controlled anger. "The restaurant manager says she was there for a legitimate pickup. DoorDash confirms an active order. Multiple witnesses say she was standing quietly. Harrison, did you verify anything before arresting her?" She looked out of place. Wearing a DoorDash shirt with a DoorDash bag picking up a DoorDash order. Within minutes, a shift commander arrived, Captain Maria Rodriguez, an 18-year veteran who'd been documenting Harrison's pattern of complaints and fighting to have him removed from duty. She reviewed the situation, spoke with the restaurant manager by phone, confirmed the DoorDash order, reviewed photos that witnesses had already sent showing Keisha standing quietly at the pickup area with her delivery bag clearly visible. She approached Keisha, still handcuffed in an interview room. "Ms. Williams, this arrest was completely unjustified and I am deeply sorry. You're being released immediately with our sincerest apologies. This should never have happened." She turned to Harrison, her voice cold with fury. "You arrested a nursing student picking up a delivery order. The restaurant confirmed she was supposed to be there. DoorDash confirmed the order. She was wearing a company shirt and had a company bag. You had 0. Probable cause. Badge and weapon. You're suspended pending termination." Harrison protested weakly. "Captain, she didn't fit the profile of customers at that restaurant." "She wasn't a customer. She was a delivery driver. And even if she was a customer, that's not your call to make. You've generated 32 complaints in 17 years, 27 involving black women in businesses. You arrested a nursing student 8 months from graduation for doing her job. You're done. Badge, weapon, now. By the next morning, the story had exploded across social media and news outlets. Videos from multiple diners at Capitol Grill showed the entire arrest from different angles. DoorDash issued a strong statement condemning the incident and offering to cover any losses Keisha suffered. Miami-Dade College's president released a message supporting their student and calling the arrest a disgrace. The restaurant's corporate office issued an apology and banned Officer Harrison from all their locations nationwide. Civil rights organizations, including black women's organizations specifically, held press conferences demanding action. The hashtag Chashi Justice for Keisha trended nationally. Keisha filed a comprehensive lawsuit 8 months later against Officer Todd Harrison, his supervisors who'd ignored 32 complaints, and Miami PD. The allegations were extensive and detailed. False arrest without probable cause, false imprisonment, violation of Fourth Amendment rights, racial profiling and discrimination, gender-based discrimination, interference with her employment and educational pursuits, intentional infliction of emotional distress, damage to her professional reputation as both a delivery driver and aspiring nurse, deliberate indifference to Harrison's documented pattern of violations against black women specifically. The complaint included Harrison's complete record, 32 complaints over 17 years, 27 involving black women in upscale establishments, multiple supervisor recommendations for termination blocked by union protection, and internal affairs reports specifically noting his pattern of targeting black women. Miami city attorneys reviewed the evidence and found absolutely no defensible position. Restaurant security footage showed Keisha standing quietly exactly where staff had directed her. The DoorDash order was documented, verified, and included timestamps. The restaurant staff all testified she was legitimately there and professional. Multiple diners provided witness statements and video. Harrison had zero probable cause. The pattern of complaints showed deliberate indifference to constitutional violations and a specific pattern of bias against black women. The city settled 21 months later, $5.1 million paid to Keisha Williams, one of the largest settlements in Florida history for a false arrest of a gig economy worker and one of the largest specifically addressing discrimination against a black woman. Officer Todd Harrison was terminated 10 weeks after the incident. The termination letter was comprehensive and damning. Officer Harrison arrested a DoorDash driver who was picking up a legitimate delivery order from a restaurant that confirmed her presence and purpose. He had no probable cause. He ignored restaurant staff, delivery platform verification, witness accounts, and video evidence. His pattern of similar conduct over 17 years, specifically targeting black women in commercial establishments, demonstrates both racial and gender bias and an inability to serve the public. Employment terminated immediately with cause. Harrison's name entered the National Decertification Index with notation of his specific pattern of targeting black women. His 17-year career ended in disgrace. Keisha testified before the Miami City Council, bringing both her personal trauma and her professional perspective as a future healthcare worker. I'm a nursing student. I work 3 jobs, as a CNA at a hospital, as a DoorDash driver, and I'm in school full-time. I'm 8 months from graduating and becoming a registered nurse. I was picking up food from Capitol Grill, a restaurant I delivered from before. I was standing exactly where the host told me to wait. I was wearing my DoorDash shirt. I had my delivery bag. And Officer Harrison arrested me because he couldn't imagine a black woman in an expensive restaurant was there legitimately. She paused, her voice becoming emotional. 32 complaints in 17 years, 27 involving black women. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern of targeting women who look like me. Your department documented it. Supervisors recommended his termination. He kept working until he arrested someone whose story went viral. How many other black women did he harass who didn't have video? Who didn't have witnesses? Who didn't have the resources to fight back? She continued, her voice steadier. $5.1 million is what taxpayers paid. I'm grateful. It paid off my nursing school debt and will help me start my career without financial stress. But money doesn't undo being handcuffed in front of a restaurant full of people while I was working. It doesn't restore the hospital shift I missed and had to explain. It doesn't erase missing my clinical rotation the next day. And it doesn't change the fact that I'm afraid every time I pick up from a nice restaurant now. Keisha graduated from nursing school on time and passed her RN licensing exam on the first try. She accepted a position in the emergency department of Jackson Memorial Hospital, one of Miami's premier trauma centers. She used part of her settlement to establish a scholarship fund for Black women pursuing nursing degrees while working to support themselves. Miami PD implemented comprehensive reforms, mandatory verification before arresting anyone in a commercial establishment, automatic investigation triggered by 3 complaints, body camera, review for all business-related encounters, specific training on bias against Black women in professional and commercial settings, partnership with delivery platforms to verify workers, protection for gig economy employees, prohibition on arrests without business owner complaint, data collection on arrests disaggregated by race and gender. Why do departments wait for 32 complaints instead of 3? Why do they ignore patterns of bias against Black women specifically? Comment your thoughts. This wasn't about one Thursday evening at Capitol Grill. This was about tolerating Todd Harrison for 17 years despite 32 complaints showing he specifically targeted Black women in upscale spaces. This was about a system that documented a clear pattern and did nothing. Harrison's career is over. The city paid $5.1 million, but that came after 17 years of warnings, after 27 Black women were harassed, after supervisors' termination recommendations were ignored. Comment if workers should have federal protection from false arrests. Comment if patterns targeting specific demographics should trigger immediate termination. And if these stories matter, if you believe a nursing student should be able to pick up food without being arrested, then hit that subscribe button. We're exposing systems that ignore patterns, especially patterns of bias against Black women. This isn't about one officer or one driver. It's about protecting people trying to work and study, and about demanding accountability for those who abuse authority against the most vulnerable.